Stop what you're doing right now. I'm about to show you exactly how to build a topical authority map that will change how Google sees your website forever. And before you click away thinking this is another basic SEO tutorial, let me be clear. This isn't theory. This isn't what some guru told me. This is what I actually do. This is what actually works. This is what's making money right now in 2025 and beyond. Most people create content randomly. They write about whatever they feel like, they target whatever keywords they find, and they wonder why Google doesn't rank them. Here's the truth. Google doesn't care about your random blog post. Google cares about expertise, authority, trust, and you build that by showing Google you own a topic. Not a keyword, a topic, an entire subject area. That's what a topical authority map does. It shows you exactly what content to create, in what order to dominate your niche. Not compete in it, dominate it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chris M. Walker. I've been doing SEO since most of you were in diapers or before you knew what it was. I've built multiple 7- and 8-figure businesses with it, and today I'm showing you exactly how to create a topical authority map that actually works. No fluff, no BS, just the exact process, step by step, on my screen. Ready? Let's go. Now, before we jump into the document, you need to understand why this matters more now than ever. Google's getting smarter. AI content is everywhere. Competition is brutal. The old tricks and stuff do not work anymore. You can't just stuff keywords and rank. You can't just write more content than everybody else. You need to be strategic. Think about it. Why should Google rank you for best running shoes if you've never written anything about running? If you don't cover running injuries, running form, marathon training, or anything else about running, why should they? And the answer is they shouldn't and they won't. But if you systematically cover every aspect of running, if you become the go-to resource for runners, if you show Google you actually know what you're talking about, then you can become the obvious choice. That's what topical authority gets you, and the map is how you get there. Here's what happens when you build topical authority the right way. Google starts ranking you for keywords you didn't even target. They start showing you for searches you didn't optimize for because they recognize you as the expert and the authority on that topic. I've seen sites go from 0 to thousands of visitors per day just by following a proper topical authority map. Not overnight, but consistently, predictably, without tricks and hacks. And the best part, once you build topical authority, it's really hard for competitors to knock you off because they'd have to create all the content you just created in the right order with the right depth, and most people won't do that. So let me show you exactly how to build your topical authority map. Now we've got this template on my screen here that I'm going to walk you through and show you how to use it. You can start with a blank one, but I've kind of built this out for you. This is where your topical authority map is going to live. Not in some fancy tool or expensive software, in a simple spreadsheet that you can update, modify, and actually use. Now, before we start filling this out, let's talk about what a topical authority map actually is. It's not a sitemap, it's not a content calendar, it's not a keyword list. It's a strategic blueprint that shows every piece of content you need to create to own a topic. Think of it like building a house. You don't randomly build walls wherever you feel like it. You start with the foundation, then the frame, then the walls, and then the roof. Everything in a specific order for a specific reason. And the same thing is true with topical authority. You start with your pillar content, your main topic, then you build out the supporting content, the subtopics, the detailed content, the long tail stuff, layer by layer. Most people do this backwards. They start with the long tail keywords because they're easier to rank for. That used to work, but it doesn't anymore because it's like building the roof before the foundation. It might work temporarily, but it won't last. Here's how we're going to structure this map. We'll have 5 main columns: topic, search intent, content type, priority, and status. Topic is obvious. That's what you're going to be writing about. Search intent is critical. Is somebody looking for information? Are they trying to buy something? Are they comparing options? This determines how you write the content. Content type tells you what format works best. Blog post, video, comparison chart, tool. Different topics need different formats. Priority is your order of operations. What do you create first, second, third? This is where strategy comes in. Status tracks your progress. So stuff like not started, in progress, published, needs update, etc. It's a simple, but it's essential. Now, you might be thinking this seems basic. And to that, I say, good. It should be basic. Complexity is where people fail. Simple systems repeated at scale is what works. Complicated systems collect dust. Let me show you how to actually fill this out. Okay, the first step is going to be picking your core topic. This is what your entire site or section of your site will be about. And the fact is, most people pick wrong. They pick something too broad like health or business or technology. That's not a topic you can own. That's an entire industry. Or what they'll do is they'll pick something too narrow like blue widgets for left-handed people in Ohio or something stupid like that. That's not a topic worth owning because there's no audience. What you want is something specific enough to dominate, but broad enough to matter. So let me show you what I mean. Let's say that you're in, I don't know, the fitness space. Fitness is too broad, but calisthenics for beginners is better. And then even better than that is building muscle without weights. It's specific, but it's substantial. I'm going to use building muscle without weights as our example. So let's watch how this builds out. So we're going to put in our topic, building muscle without weights. So first I create my main pillar. This is the ultimate guide to building muscle without weights. This is your cornerstone content. So let's fill that out a little bit more completely. Let's call that the ultimate guide to building muscle without weights. First, I create my main pillar. This is the ultimate guide to building muscle without weights. This is your cornerstone content, the thing everything else is going to link back to. It needs to be comprehensive and better than anything else out there. Now, from that main pillar, we identify the major subtopics. These become your category pillars. So for building muscle without weights, what are the main subtopics? So let's type these out. So we're going to put in, let's see, body weight exercises. That's one pillar. Let's go nutrition for muscle growth is another one. Recovery and rest. And then progressive, did I spell that right? Progressive overload without weights. That's important. So let's put those in our content type. These would be pillars as well. Let's also go ahead and do common mistakes. We'll make that a pillar guide. Because people need to know what to avoid. And let's go with workout programs. Because they want structure. So what are we doing here? We're breaking down the main topic into its essential components. Every aspect someone would need to know to succeed at building muscle without weights. Each of these pillars then gets broken down further. So let's take body weight exercises. What needs to be covered there? Say push-up variations. And pull-up progressions. This is a topic that has recently interested me, so that's why I'm going with it. Squat variations. Core exercises. Full body movements. exercise form guides. How to progress each movement. Is that right? And each of those can even be broken down further. Push-up variations alone could include, I don't know, standard push-ups, diamond push-ups, wide grip push-ups, decline push-ups, one-arm push-ups, and so on. What you're doing is you're building a web of interconnected content. Each piece supports the others. Each piece links to the related pieces. Google sees this and recognizes you're not just writing random articles, you're building a comprehensive resource. And this is where most people stop. They map out the content and start writing, but they're missing the most important part, priority. So let's move over to the search volume column. You need data to prioritize properly. I'm going to make up some search volumes for these topics. So let's take a look at this. Bodyweight exercises gets significant search volume, but one-arm push-up progression, much less. That tells us something important about priority. But search volume isn't everything. We also need to consider search intent and competition. So let's take a look at those columns, intent and competition level. For intent, we have four main types. We have informational, where people want to learn something; commercial, where they're researching products; transactional, where they're actually ready to buy products; and navigational, where they're looking for something specific. Most of your topical authority content will be informational. You're teaching, you're establishing expertise, the money will come later. So let's fill those in. Informational, in fact, informational, we'll say informational. This one could be informational or commercial because they might be looking to buy a program. I'm going to call that commercial. And then this would be informational. And, this is somewhat subjective, but, use your judgment. But most of these should be pretty straightforward. And yeah, the rest of these are going to be informational. I mainly just wanted to have a little bit of variety. Competition level is simple, low, medium, or high. Now, be honest here. If you're a new site and you're not ranking for high competition terms, you're not going to be ranking for high competition terms right away. And that's fine. We'll build up to those. So just go in and fill in the different competition level. I'm just going to randomly choose some of these so you can kind of see this filled out. Medium, this is tedious, of course. Medium. We'll call this one low. We'll call this one medium. We'll call this one medium. We'll call this one high. Again, just you get the idea. And there's tools that can help you with this, but you really don't need them. Medium. Now watch how this changes our priority. Bodyweight exercises has high search volume, but also has high competition. So would we start there? No. What we would do is start with lower competition terms that still have decent volume. Something like body workout for beginners at home or something like that. Well, we might have lower volume, but also lower competition. That's where we begin. Here's my prioritization framework. Start with low competition, informational content that directly supports your main pillar. Remember, this is our main pillar. And then build out from there. And then create content in clusters. And in a second, I'm going to show you an easy way to do that in just a few clicks. Don't write one article about push-ups, then jump to nutrition and then back to exercises. Complete each cluster before moving on. And I'm going to show you real quick an easy way to do that. Now, this is, full disclosure, I own Legit, but this is a tool that we have built in. You can just come up to tools and marketing tools and click content cluster generator. And I don't actually have a fitness site to show what we've been using, but I'm going to show you another site. So what you can do is connect your site to this and put in the keywords, the main keyword, like your pillar content keyword. So mine might be for the site, Myrtle Beach SEO. And then what you can do is click create content cluster. And it's going to research your content for you, your content cluster for you. So I'm going to pause while that finishes. Okay, so you can see what it did is it went out and found other topics within that cluster. It found the pillar for that cluster, which is Myrtle Beach SEO, data-driven strategies for sustainable local growth. And then it found the next level down, which is local SEO ranking factors. You don't need me to read them all to you, and so on. So it'll explain how it shows them and how it works. For some reason you don't like one of them, you can just click regenerate on it. And then you can just click continue. And then you can just click generate content. And this does cost a few credits, but it's not that much. I think that's like a couple dollars worth or something like that. And then you click generate content, and this is going to generate all of those articles for you. All right, we're back, and that took, 7 or 8 minutes. But let's take a quick look at what it did. It generated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 articles for 2,200 words, 2,100 words, 1,700 words, 1,600 words, 1,700 words, 1,700 words, and 1,600 words. It gives you the content that you can copy and paste right into your site. It gives you the metadata, so the meta title and meta description. It gives you the links, so you know how to link to each both internal page on from these that it created, as well as any external like authority sites. It gives you the FAQs to put on it, and it does that for each article. So that saves you a lot of time and effort to build out your different clusters. Right, so Google sees the connections between your content. So when you publish 5 articles about push-up variations in 2 weeks, all linked into each other, all supporting each other, Google notices. And you can post them all at once as far as I'm concerned. You're not just covering push-ups, you're becoming the push-up authority, or the Myrtle Beach SEO authority in our example there. So let me show you exactly how I would prioritize this map. Phase 1, I would do pillars 1 through 4. Great, the main pillar, and then the easiest supporting content, the low-hanging fruit that gets used to get us some early traction. Phase 2 is weeks 5 through 8. We build out our first complete cluster using the cluster tool or just writing it yourself. Maybe that's all push-up content, whatever. Every variation, every progression, every common mistake, you get the idea. Phase 3 is weeks 9 through 12. That's the second cluster, pull-up progressions, perhaps, same depth, same thoroughness. See the pattern? We're not randomly creating content. We're systemically building authority one cluster at a time. And it gets super easy with the content cluster tool. The link for that, by the way, as well as this map, will be in the description. Now, let's talk about the actual content creation. I showed you how to make most of it in a few clicks, because mapping is useless if the content sucks. That's why we built that tool. But each piece of content in your map needs to be the best resource for that specific topic. If you use the content cluster tool, it will be. But if it's not good, it's not decent, it has to be the best, or at least trying to be. Let me show you my framework for this. So first, you're going to search your target keyword. You're going to open the top 5 results and read them all. Take notes, like what do they cover? What did they miss? What questions do they answer? What questions do they leave unanswered? Because basically your content needs to be better than all of them combined. More comprehensive, more practical, more useful. But here's the key. Better does not necessarily mean longer. That's old school SEO, and it doesn't work anymore. I've seen people write 10,000 word articles thinking that's what Google wants. It's not. Google wants the best answer to the searcher's question. Sometimes that's 500 words. Sometimes it's 5,000. It just depends on the topic. So if you were writing the push-up variations for beginners article, you would start with, why push-up variations matter. Not the history, not the fluff, not that shit that you see in recipe sites. Straight to why someone should care. This is something that a lot of content gets wrong. Then you would cover the basic form. You can't do variations if you can't do a standard push-up right. So you got to get that right. So you need to explain that to the reader. Then the variations, then order from, easiest to hardest, wall push-ups, incline push-ups, knee push-ups, standard push-ups, then into more advanced variations. Each variation gets the same treatment. What it is, why it's useful, how to do it, common mistakes, how to progress to the next level, and so on. Then we end with a simple workout plan using these variations, because people want practical application, not just information. For throughout, we're linking to our main pillar about building muscle without weights, to our article about progressive overload, to our piece about common body weight training mistakes, and so on. Every link makes sense. And if you use the content cluster tool, it'll do all that for you. But because every link needs to add value. You don't want to just link for SEO. You're linking because it helps the reader by sending them over to more relevant content. This is how you build topical authority, not by gaming the system, by actually being authoritative, by creating the best resource on your topic. You'll notice that the last column in the sheet here is the publish date. This matters more than you think because Google likes consistency. Publishing 3 articles one week, then nothing for 2 months looks sporadic. Publishing 2 articles every week for 3 months looks authoritative. So set a schedule that you know you can maintain. It's better to publish 1 great article per week consistently than 5 mediocre articles randomly. And here's something most people don't talk about. Update your old content as you create new content. When you write that article about advanced push-up variations, go back to your beginning article and add a link to it. Keep everything connected and keep everything fresh. Track your results. Which articles get traffic and which articles rank, which don't, which convert, which don't. Use that data to refine your map and constantly grow it. Your topical authority map isn't set in stone. It evolves, you find gaps, you discover new subtopics, you respond to what your audience actually wants, not what you think they want. Fun fact, that's why I'm making this video right now, because I had been building what I thought they wanted, or I've been making videos on what I thought people wanted rather than what they actually wanted. And here's the thing, this works, but it's not magic. It's not instant, except with the content cluster tool. It does take time, it takes consistency, it takes actually caring about creating good content. Most people don't want to do this. They're gonna watch this video, maybe create a basic map, write 3 articles, use the content cluster tool, and then give up when they don't see instant results. Don't be most people. Commit to the process. Build your authority systemically, create content that actually helps people, and watch your organic traffic grow. Not overnight, but steadily, predictably, and sustainably. That's how you build a business with SEO. Not by chasing algorithm updates, not by trying to trick Google, by becoming the obvious authority in your space. The map is just the beginning. The work is what matters. But without the map, you're just wandering around, hoping to accidentally build authority. With the map, you know exactly where you're going and how to get there. If you want to use this spreadsheet, it's linked in the comment. Just make a copy, fill it out for your niche, start with one cluster, use the content cluster tool to complete it, then move to the next one. In 6 months, you'll have more topical authority than competitors who've been creating random content for years because you were strategic, because you had a map, because you did the work. That's it. That's how you build a topical authority map that actually works with no expensive software, no tricks, no hacks, just strategy and execution. And if my name is Chris M. Walker, by the way, if this helped you, share it with somebody who needs it. And remember, you don't need fancy tools or secret techniques. You need a plan and the discipline to execute it. Stop watching and start building. Your topical authority map is waiting.